breakthrough, in fact, in US-Iran conflict. A US official has said that both the countries have agreed to stop attacks and allow ships to move safely through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the move comes after sharp escalation in the last 24 hours. The US carried out strikes on Iranian targets, and Iran responded by attacking US bases in Bahrain and Kuwait in the last 24 hours. Now, both the sides have agreed to pause attacks while technical talks will continue on the next steps. Officials have also said that where or when the next round will take place is something that will be decided in the coming days. But as per a few reports, we are learning that the next round of the meeting will take place in Doha, most likely on Tuesday, and it follows several days of tit-for-tat military strikes between US and Iran around the Strait of Hormuz, mainly because of the dispute about how commercial ships can transit that key waterway. So at this point in time, we're learning that a decision has been made by both the countries to halt the strikes that have been happening in the last 24 hours. Because remember, Trump has been criticizing Iranian officials on social media as well. Just a while back, he threatened a resumption of the wars if the Iranians do not allow commercial vessels to move through the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians have accused the US of violating the terms of MOU by interfering with their ability to control the traffic in that key waterway, as well as trying to interfere with their right as well, eventually to collect tolls from the vessel transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Now, according to the reports, US officials have said that strikes by both the sides will stop for some time. Let me get you more details and go across to Mayank, who's tracking them. Mayank, in fact, a big breakthrough in US-Iran conflict. A US official has said that both the countries have agreed to stop the attacks, and this after tit-for-tat attacks, not just in Iran, but we have seen counter-attack in Bahrain and Kuwait also in the last 24 hours. So tell us what really changed in the last few hours.
Akanksha, the way the things changed, actually, it was creating a major nervousness all across the globe. Now, the point is here is actually, whatever the things happened, it began with a merchant vessel which was moving from Strait of Hormuz towards Gulf of Oman, or towards UAE, actually, in fact, to be specific about the merchant vessel. In that case, Iran had fired upon it, saying that it was supposed to make all the arrangements, and any movement taking place on that side, it has to be communicated to IRGC in that case, because as per Iran, it's point number 5 of MOU says that all the arrangements for the movement there has to be made by Iranians, and IRGC in specific we can say that. But then US said that it is breach of ceasefire. I mean, once the merchant vessel was fired, and thus they carried out multiple strikes on the portions which are southern portion of Iran, contiguous to Strait of Hormuz, saying that it is breach of this. But now, as we have brought out, that I mean, things have cooled down a bit, and let us wait and watch how the things will be shaping, because movement of merchant tankers and vessels is very, very important for everyone. And this is exactly why the ceasefire agreement had taken place to begin with, actually, because it is something which is doable, and both sides were believing that once the traffic starts from this side, it will smoothen so many things, and thus decision on more important things can be taken gradually, with the gradual build-up of trust between the two sides. This is how things have shaped up. But better the two sides have understood the point, and that it was creating problem for the whole globe. And we can understand from the perspective of India itself that 20% of India's fuel and energy supplies come from that side. And there are multiple other nations which are getting hurt because of this, Akanksha.
Absolutely, because the MOU was signed between the two countries on June 17. Then there was a conversation, a dialogue between the two countries in Switzerland, in fact, few days later. But in the last 24 hours, we've been witnessing tit-for-tat attacks there. Firstly, the attack on the vessel there in the Strait of Hormuz by Iran, and then the counter-attack by US on Iran, and then Iran attacking Bahrain and Kuwait as well. But in the latest, we are learning that both the sides have agreed that they will be stopping attack and will in fact be holding discussions in the coming days. So that is the latest we're learning as far as the big breakthrough in the US-Iran conflict is concerned. A US official has said that both the countries have agreed to stop the attacks, this tit-for-tat attacks that we've seen in the last 24 hours. So, in fact, there will be no attacks, is what both the sides have assured. Both the countries have agreed to stop attacks and allow the ships to move safely through the Strait of Hormuz. The move comes after sharp escalation that we've witnessed in the last 24 hours. The US carried out strikes on Iranian targets, and Iran responded by attacking US bases in Bahrain and Kuwait. And now both the sides have agreed to pause the attack while technical talks continue on the next steps as well. Let me once again bring in Mayank on this. Mayank, even though there is no confirmation on where and when the next round of talks will take place, there are few reports that are saying that the next round will take place in Doha, and that will be likely on a Tuesday. Any confirmation on that?
See, I mean, the talks have been already there, and the mediators, as far as Qatar is one of the countries which is a mediator, and it has been playing a significant role. That we can, I mean, easily understand that if whatever happens, and next talk could be taking place on that side, which is in Doha. I mean that, but as of now, no official confirmation have come. The other point is actually, see, I mean, with the initiation of so many things, which is also about the movement of merchant vessels within Strait of Hormuz, it is incumbent upon both sides, which is in this case both sides, when I say it is between Iran and the US, to show to the world that how things have shaped up and how they are moving forward with more important issues. Because Strait of Hormuz is as we have said earlier, it is one of the doables which has been started with so as to build up the trust. But the other important issues, which includes nuclear issue, I mean, the topmost issue can be the nuclear issue, but then the frozen funds of Iran, the sanctions against Iran, and the missile capabilities of Iran, which Israel is also wanting that they cap the capabilities of missile and drone capabilities of Iran. So we have to see for more important issues which might come up further.
Absolutely. It remains to be seen how this pans out in the coming days. For now, both the sides have said that they will not be attacking each other after what we saw in the last 24 hours. Tit-for-tat attacks as far as Iran, US, Bahrain and Kuwait are concerned. Stay on with us. Mayank, I'll come back to you once again. We have another breaking update coming in. United States and Iran may be moving towards easing tensions over the Strait of Hormuz. According to the reports, both the countries are all set to hold talks in Doha to resolve their differences. A US official has said that both the sides have agreed to stop military actions for now. And the official has also said that ships may continue to move freely through the key waterway that is the Strait of Hormuz while the talks continue behind the scene. The talks come after days of tensions and attack between the two countries. However, the situation remains fragile, with differences still continuing over who will control the movement in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says that it has the right to manage traffic in the key waterway under the deal that was signed on June 17th. But the US has said that waterway must remain open for the international shipping. So the upcoming Doha meeting will focus on reducing tensions and finding a solution to the Hormuz dispute. Let me once again bring in Mayank on this. Mayank, even though the MOU has been signed and it mentions the Strait of Hormuz, no clarity over who will control it, but now at this point in time, the main friction point between US and Iran is who really controls the Strait of Hormuz until the talks continue. And that is perhaps the reason why we saw attack and the counter attacks there in the last 24 hours. Take us through what is the point of friction when it comes to Hormuz dispute, and what could be discussed there in Doha when the next round of conversation between the two countries will take place.
Akansha, some window or some reflection can be seen in the statements which are made by Iran. They are quoting the point number 5 of MOU, saying that the arrangements have to be made by Iran as far as the movement is concerned within Strait of Hormuz. Mind it, here we are separating Gulf of Oman and Strait of Hormuz, because the Gulf of Oman, for sake of entry and exit, is the mouth of the towards the Strait of Hormuz. And normally the geography is such that Iran is on the northern side of the entire Strait of Hormuz and Gulf of Oman also. So in that case, Oman also becomes one of the parties if anything has to be decided officially. Officially, I repeat. So, but then in this case, Iran has been saying that, and mind it, going by the way the things had been happening since Feb 28th and post Iran completely stopping all the movement in Strait of Hormuz, it is IRGC which has been controlling, regulating the movement that side. And the skirmishes, multiple times they took place between US forces, and also Iran had been retaliating in so many ways within Strait of Hormuz, but that was not a bigger violent military operations which took place within Strait of Hormuz. But then IRGC was the one which was deciding the movement, or was deciding against the movement which was taking place within Strait of Hormuz. So friction still remains, clarity on it is actually, but the claim has come from Iran side saying that they will be the one who will be controlling all kind of movement, and permissions will be given by them for at least 60 days, because the free movement has to take place by the MOU for next 60 days, and post that we'll be seeing that how the things may shape up. And as we are bringing out, Doha could be becoming the next stop wherein both sides might be talking about how the things will shape up. And this question will definitely come up there also, Akanksha. But we have to wait and watch. But as far as regulations and control is concerned, within only Strait of Hormuz, I mean to say, not towards the Gulf of Oman. Because naval blockade from the US forces took place at the mouth of Gulf of Oman. So wait and watch for Doha talks, at least if they take place that side, Akanksha.
All right, so at this point in time, we have two major updates. Both the sides have said, US and Iran, that they will not be attacking each other, and the next round of negotiations will take place in Doha, most likely on Tuesday. We'll keep you updated on that. Stay on with us, Mayank. I'll come back to you once again. We have another breaking update coming in. Tensions remain high in West Asia. Israel has carried out another strike in southern Lebanon. We are learning that it has said that it has destroyed a major Hezbollah tunnel. According to Israel, the tunnel was used to store hundreds of weapons and had launched launch site meant to target Israeli territory. Israel has also said that it has informed the United States before the operation. In fact, we also have a reaction coming in from the Prime Minister's office there. Let me take you through what has been mentioned. It mentions that I quote, Prime Minister and Defense Minister, as a part of Operation Closing Worst, the IDF has just destroyed the underground terrorist infra of the Hezbollah terrorist organization in the area of the village in southern Lebanon. Now, that is where the attacks are happening in the last few months. The tunnel, which was over 200 meters long and more than 25 meters deep, contained hundreds of weapons and several launch silos intended to target the territory of State of Israel and its citizens. Israel updated the United States and America representatives in Lebanon in advance regarding the destruction of the infra. IDF commanders and fighters will remain in the security zone in southern Lebanon and will continue to destroy terrorist infra, remove threats to northern communities, and safeguard the security of Israel's citizens. So the biggest takeaway that, in fact, this tunnel of that Israel is saying that it belonged to Hezbollah, that has been destroyed. And point number two is that Israel has once again mentioned that IDF will remain in the security zone in southern Lebanon. Let me get you more perspective on this and go across to my colleague Mayank, who will put this into perspective as to what has happened there in Lebanon in the last few hours. But before I go to him, let's take a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.